Hello and welcome to the Renaissance English History Podcast, a part of the Agora Podcast Network. I am your host, Heather Tusco. I'm a storyteller who makes history accessible because I believe it's a pathway to understanding who we are, our place in the universe, and being much more in touch with our own humanity. This is episode 215, and it is a look at Margaret of York, also known as Margaret of Burgundy, after her marriage. In the intricate mosaic of late medieval England, few figures exemplify the era's complex political and social dynamics as vividly as Margaret of York. She was born during a period characterized by the Wars of the Roses, which was, of course, the dynastic conflict in England, and her life was a remarkable blend of political intrigue, cultural richness, and personal fortitude. She was born in May 1446 at Fotheringay Castle in Northamptonshire, in England. She was not just a noblewoman, she was a sister to kings, specifically Edward IV and Richard III of England. This familial connection placed her at the very heart of English power and politics, shaping her life and her destiny in very profound ways. Her journey from the English countryside to the zenith of European politics epitomized the era's complexity and the pivotal role individuals could play in shaping history. Funny, I just said the era's complexity, and it kind of makes me laugh because my daughter's obsessed with Taylor Swift, and I say era, and she keeps reminding me and correcting me and saying, "Mom, it's era." My daughter's, a tween officially now, I suppose. And I said something about the Eras Tour, and she said, "Mom, it's pronounced Eras. It's Eras Tour." So anyway, the era's complexity. I never realized that you could be so emotional over whether I said era or era, but my daughter is. Anyway, her death in Mechelen in the Low Countries in November 1503 marked more than the end of an extraordinary life. It was the conclusion of an epoch where she was an influential actor in the unfolding drama of European politics. In this episode, we're going to talk about the life of Margaret of York, Margaret of Burgundy, a woman who navigated the labyrinthine corridors of late medieval politics with astuteness and resilience. Before we get started, though, I have two pieces of news. First off, I made this announcement already, but I'm going to say it again. You're going to hear me say it a lot. TutorCon is next September 20th to 22nd at Agecroft Hall. I don't have a website for it yet. I mean, there's the old TutorCon stuff from this previous year. I don't have anything set up to start to take tickets yet because we're still working out all of the final costs. So ticket sales will be available in the new year, but I just wanted to give you that heads up so you can do a little save the date, September 20th through 22nd, Agecroft Hall, which is a Tudor home in Virginia. It's actually a late 15th century home that was in England, and it was brought to Virginia, to Richmond, piece by piece, by a person, I think it was a tobacco farmer, who wanted to have a Tudor mansion, that he wanted to live in an authentic Tudor mansion, and so he brought Agecroft Hall. So that's TutorCon. The second piece of news is, you guys, I recently launched a membership on my YouTube channel. So you can actually join my YouTube channel and get extra episodes. This week, I'm doing an episode for members on Joan Bulmer, who was very much involved with Catherine Howard. She had known Catherine when she was younger. They both had lived together when they were young. So she knew Catherine Howard. And so that's the episode that's coming this week for members of the YouTube channel, or patrons. If you're also a patron of mine on Patreon, you'll also get it. But YouTube's easy for people who want to join there and get the episodes where you're listening to me, if you listen to me on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, you just go to my channel and click join. And there's a couple different levels. You get different perks based on the level that you join at. The first level is $2.99 a month. You get extra episodes. You get some cool emojis, some cool stuff, plus the heartwarming knowledge that you are helping to support the channel. And then it goes up. The final level, you get a free TutorCon streaming ticket. There's discounts on my merch shop, stuff like that. So You can check out my YouTube channel. If you just are on YouTube and you look for H Tesco, H-T-E-Y-S-K-O, my channel is called something like History and Coffee. I don't know. I'm so bad at branding that kind of stuff, you guys. Just so terrible. Anyway, I'll include a link in the show notes here as well, where you can check it out. And thank you so much in advance for your support. Okay, let's get into it with Margaret of York. Margaret's early life was cast in the shadow of the Wars of the Roses, the struggle for the English throne that pitched the houses of Lancaster and York, her own family, against each other. She was the daughter of Richard, 3rd Duke of York, and Cecily Neville, and sister to the future kings Edward IV and Richard III. So Margaret was born into a world where family lineage was not just a matter of prestige, but a pivotal factor in the game of thrones that was English politics. This turbulent backdrop of her youth was a chessboard of shifting alliances, power plays, and decisive battles that would shape the course of English history. The Yorkist and Lancastrian houses, emblematic of the era's factional and familial conflicts, vied for supremacy, and these dynamics deeply influenced Margaret's understanding of power and governance. Simultaneously, the Duchy of Burgundy, under the rule of Philip the Good, was rising as a formidable power in Western Europe. Known for its affluence and military strength, Burgundy played a crucial role in the continental power dynamics. In this environment of European political intrigue, the initial marriage negotiations between Margaret's family and Charles the Bold, who was the future Duke of Burgundy, began. These talks, set against a backdrop of her father's brief ascendancy in England, were not merely about marriage, but were also strategic moves in the chessboard of European politics. The negotiations, however, initially fell through due to the internal conflicts in England and the changing priorities in the Burgundian court. By 1465, the prospect of marrying Margaret was very appealing to Charles after he lost his first wife very suddenly, Isabella of Bourbon. So the prospect of marrying Margaret, who was now the sister of the reigning king, Edward IV, became more appealing to Charles, who sought an English alliance to counter French influence. This renewed interest led to intricate negotiations characterized by the interplay of European politics. Despite resistance from Louis of France, who tried to disrupt the alliance by proposing alternative matrimonial links, and the complexities of securing a papal dispensation due to their consanguinity, which means they were distantly related, the marriage was eventually agreed upon. The alliance was beneficial to both Burgundy and England, as it promised mutual defense, trade agreements, and a counterbalance to French power. The wedding was held in 1468. It was a spectacle of opulence and grandeur. It was a royal wedding, reflecting the significance of the event. Margaret's entry into Bruges for her marriage was marked by extravagant festivities and public celebrations. The Tournament of the Golden Tree, organized in her honor, showcased the wealth and cultural sophistication of the Burgundian court. Her marriage to Charles the Bold was not just a personal milestone, but a significant political event, strengthening the ties between England and Burgundy. As Duchess of Burgundy, Margaret quickly adapted to her new role in a foreign court. She established a harmonious relationship with her stepdaughter, Mary of Burgundy, and her mother-in-law, Isabella of Portugal. This familial bond was crucial as it helped Margaret navigate the intricacies of Burgundian politics and assert her influence. Her relationship with Mary was particularly significant as it would later play a critical role in the political landscape following Charles's death. Margaret's influence extended beyond the domestic sphere. She became an active participant in Burgundian politics, using her connections and her political acumen to foster strong ties between England and Burgundy. Her marriage had transformed her from a political pawn in the Yorkist family's ambitions into a key figure in the European political arena, adeptly maneuvering through the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined the age. Upon becoming the Duchess of Burgundy, Margaret of York not only immersed herself in the political landscape of her new home, but also became a notable patron of the arts, influencing cultural trends and advancements. Her patronage extended across various realms, significantly impacting the cultural and intellectual life of the Burgundian court. One of Margaret's most notable contributions to the arts was her support of William Caxton, a key figure in the history of printing. And we talked about William Caxton when we talked about Anthony Woodville, who, of course, would have been Margaret of York's brother-in-law, since he was Elizabeth of York's brother. And also, I did an episode on William Caxton back, I think it was like 2013 or 2014. It's been a while, but I can link to it in the show notes. Anyway, Caxton was a fellow Englishman and a Yorkist supporter, and he found in Margaret a patron who appreciated the revolutionary potential of the printing press. Her encouragement and her financial backing played a crucial role in Caxton's work before he even came to England, including the publication of the first book printed in the English language, which is a collection of the histories of Troy. It was printed around 1474. Just 18 copies still exist to this day. A presentation copy of the first edition with a specially made engraving showing Caxton presenting the book to Margaret is now in the Huntington Library, having previously been in the collections of the Duke of Roxburgh and the Duke of Devonshire. The support that she gave not only facilitated the spread of printed literature, but also helped establish English as a language of scholarly and literary significance. Her influence extended to fashion and court culture, where her tastes and preferences set trends that rippled throughout the Burgundian nobility and beyond. She was known for her elegant and sophisticated style, which combined the English and Burgundian elements, creating a unique fusion that was emulated by many at court. Her fashion sense, characterized by rich fabrics and intricate designs, reflected the wealth and status of the Burgundian court and served as a symbol of its cultural supremacy. Her impact on religious institutions was also significant. Margaret was a devout Christian, and her patronage extended to religious art and architecture. She contributed to the embellishment of churches, the commissioning of religious artworks, influencing the religious and artistic landscape of Burgundy. Among the key cultural artifacts associated with Margaret is the Visions of Tondel, an illuminated manuscript illustrated by Simon Marmion. This manuscript, a work of religious art, is celebrated for its exquisite detail and beauty, exemplifying the high level of artistic achievement in Burgundian manuscript illumination. Another notable artifact is her famous crown, a symbol of her status and influence. It was adorned with pearls, enameled with white roses representing the House of York, intertwined with gold letters and lovers' knots. The crown is a masterpiece of medieval craftsmanship. It was not just a ceremonial object, but also a work of art reflecting the cultural richness of the Burgundian court. Her patronage of the arts and Margaret's influence on fashion, court culture, and religious institutions demonstrate her role as a cultural innovator and leader. Through her support of the arts and her own personal style, she left an indelible mark on the cultural history of Burgundy, showcasing the duchy's splendor and sophistication during her time as Duchess. Margaret of York's marriage to Charles the Bold also positioned her at the crossroads of European politics, where she played a significant role in shaping the complex web of alliances and conflicts among the continent's powers. Her deep involvement in these affairs extended beyond her duties as Duchess of Burgundy, influencing the course of events in a period marked by political turbulence and shifting allegiances. Margaret's relationship with her brothers, Edward IV and Richard III, was a critical aspect of her political life. As sister to the English kings, she provided a vital link between England and Burgundy, two of the most powerful states in late medieval Europe. Her position enabled her to act as a mediator and an advocate, navigating the intricacies of these relationships with astuteness. During Edward's reign, she worked to foster a strong alliance between England and Burgundy, which was crucial in counterbalancing the French influence. Her diplomatic efforts were instrumental in maintaining this alliance, which proved beneficial for both realms. Her involvement in the Wars of the Roses further highlights her political acumen. Her support for her brother's Yorkist cause was unwavering, Her influence in Burgundian politics allowed her to extend support to them, particularly during times of upheaval in England. Her role in these conflicts underscored her commitment to her family and her political savvy in leveraging international alliances for domestic advantages, which is basically what women were supposed to do, what princesses were supposed to do when they married abroad, was to further their own family, right? So she did that amazingly. The impact of her marriage on the Burgundian-English alliance cannot be overstated. The union served as a bridge between two powers, fostering economic, military, and political cooperation. This alliance was crucial in the broader context of European politics, as it provided a counterweight to the growing power of France under Louis XI. Margaret's marriage brought stability and strength to this alliance, ensuring that Burgundy and England remained key players in the European political arena. Further, Margaret's ability to maintain strong ties with her family while integrating into and influencing the Burgundian court demonstrated her diplomatic skills and her political insight. Her dual allegiance to both England and Burgundy positioned her as a unique and powerful figure in European politics, one who could negotiate, mediate, and influence decisions at the highest levels. And she was very loved. Everybody just had wonderful things to say about her. Through her involvement in these intricate political networks, Margaret of York played a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of late medieval Europe. But then her husband, Charles the Bold, dies in 1477. They hadn't been married that long, just about 10 years. Thrust into widowhood, she transitioned from duchess to a key political advisor and protector of Burgundian interests. Her wisdom and political acumen became invaluable, especially to her stepdaughter, Mary of Burgundy, and her son-in-law, Maximilian of Habsburg. Her role in guiding Mary and Maximilian was pivotal during the tumultuous period following Charles's death. With Burgundy vulnerable to external threats, particularly from France, her experience and diplomatic skills were crucial. She advised Mary, who inherited the Burgundian territories, providing her with insight drawn from her own experiences in the English and Burgundian courts. Margaret's support was instrumental in Mary's decision to marry Maximilian of Habsburg, a union that Margaret believed would bolster Burgundy's political stability and independence. Maximilian, ambitious and politically astute, found in Margaret not just a mother-in-law, but a mentor whose knowledge of European politics was unmatched. Her guidance helped him to navigate the complex web of alliances and conflicts, particularly against French aggression. Margaret's efforts to secure Burgundy's independence were marked by her relentless resistance to French dominance. She was instrumental in maintaining the Burgundian state's autonomy, despite the growing power and territorial ambitions of France under Louis XI. Margaret's political maneuvering extended beyond the borders of Burgundy. She remained deeply connected to England and was particularly active after 1485 in supporting anti-Tudor claimants, which reflected her enduring commitment to her Yorkist roots. Her support of Lambert Simnel and Perkin Warbeck, both of whom claimed to be rightful heirs to the English throne, they may or may not have been the princes in the Tower. Probably not, although the new Channel 4 documentary would have you believe otherwise. I watched it. I'm not sure. I'll probably do another video on whether or not I believe it and my reaction. I need to sit with it for a little bit. I just got done watching it. I need to sit with it and think about how I feel about it. Anyway, I digress. She supported Lambert Simnel and Perkin Warbeck, and this was part of her broader strategy to challenge Tudor rule in England. Her backing of these claimants was not merely symbolic. She provided substantial support, including financing and political endorsement, significantly influencing the course of English politics. Her endorsement of Warbeck, specifically, whom she recognized as her nephew, the younger son of Edward IV, exemplified her unwavering dedication to the Yorkist cause. Her involvement in these plots against Henry VII of England highlighted her enduring influence in European politics and her skill in political intrigue. Despite the eventual failure of these endeavors, Margaret's role in these episodes underscored her status as a formidable political figure, capable of shaping events across Europe. So her widowhood was characterized by her active engagement in political affairs of Burgundy and England. Her legacy extends far beyond her lifetime, leaving an indelible mark on both Burgundian and English history. Her influence was multifaceted, encompassing political maneuvering, cultural patronage, and diplomatic acumen, which resonated long after her death in 1503. Her impact was profound, with her marriage to Charles the Bold significantly strengthening the alliance between Burgundy and England, creating a counterbalance to French power. This influenced, of course, the military and political strategies and also had lasting economic implications, especially in terms of trade between the two regions. As a female leader in a predominantly male-dominated era, there I said era again. I can just hear my daughter going, Mom, it's era. Anyway, let's start again. As a female leader in a predominantly male-dominated era, Margaret's role was exceptional. She navigated the challenges of her time with remarkable skill and tenacity, asserting her influence in a world where women's roles were often limited to the domestic sphere. Her ability to maintain a significant role in political affairs, both in Burgundy and England, challenges modern perceptions of medieval female agency. Her life demonstrates the potential for women to exert influence and power, even in times and places when their roles were typically constrained. So there we go, Margaret of York, a legacy of political acumen, cultural influence, and remarkable leadership in a challenging era. I'm going to have a drinking game where every time my daughter corrects me about how I say era or era, I'm going to take a shot. Except I don't drink, so that wouldn't really work that well. Anyway, we are going to leave it there for right now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode or watching wherever you're getting this from. Thank you for your support. Remember, you can join the YouTube membership to get all the bonus episodes. I'm about to record the Joan Bulmer one right now as well, after I get a glass of water. And so that'll be up. And there's some other ones up already, and you can get the discount to my merch shop, all kinds of good stuff there. I'm trying to think what else, my friends. Thank you for your support. TutorCon, September 20th to 22nd, H-Croft Hall in 2024. Very exciting. Also, you know what? We're coming up on 15 years of me doing my podcast. I started in 2009. 15 years of podcasting Tutor England. And I want to do something big. We're going to have an amazing TutorCon. That's going to be awesome. I'm trying to think of what else I can do, what I can do to celebrate. So if you have any ideas of how I can celebrate this podcast turning 15 years old, I would love to hear them. I am all up for it. Maybe a party in England. I'm not sure. We have all of 2024 to celebrate. But yeah, if it's something that I'm starting to think about, and if you have any ideas, leave a comment wherever you're listening to this and let me know. I would be well up for doing something awesome. Okay, my friends, thank you. I will end it here. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving, and I will be back soon. Bye-bye.
Blow, northern wind, the scent will make me sweating. Blow, northern wind, blow, blow, blow. Ich hatte Bord in Bauerbricht, dat soll is semlis on Sicht. Menschful Meiden of nicht, werden frei to fonder. In all this worldliche wonder,